morning, Crusaders. So today I'm going to be working on a Mitsubishi Montero that belongs to a friend of mine, Doc Martin Monty. His mother-in-law was kind enough to her Mitsubishi Montero to back into her barn. Not sure why, especially since when we put the truck together, we installed a backup camera for her double-din stereo. So, still trying to figure that one out, but she asked me if I was able to fix the back end of her truck, and let me show you the damage that was done. And I wish I would have thought about recording prior to doing some plastic welding, but let's show you what she did. Okay. Apparently when she backed up her vehicle, here's the taillight assembly, and she must have hit right about here, which buckled this metal bracket. Just a few minutes ago, before I started recording, this metal bracket was actually laying flush against this air vent, and I've been able to bend it some. I'm going to have to try and beat this down enough where I can get the bumper to actually slide back on it. As you notice, these were welded to this, not welded, but riveted to these brackets, and these rivets have popped because of the pressure of the bumper going this way. Pop the rivets out. I am not going to be able to re-rivet these because I'm not planning on taking the full bumper off. I'm not a body shop person. I'm a civil servant who just sort of tinkers on these things. So that's what I'm going to do, is try and get it as straight as possible so we can reinstall it. As you can tell, you can see just how bad the crack was. See the crack going all the way through? And then you can see the strike mark where she hit, which even cracked the plastic here, broke the plastic up here. This is actually an attachment point to the bracket. Cracked it all the way coming down. At least it's just the paint that's cracked here, but it broke here. So I did some welding staples here. You can see all the staples I did because the crack actually came around the corner. And this one right here is the big one. So the crack, I tried to do it where it won't continue the split. And it worked all the way down and around and over to here. Now, I could stick, the way the plastic was, I could stick my finger between this piece of plastic and this piece of plastic. And I was able to start and just keep slowly welding with the welding staples, the plastic welding staples all the way down. And I think that is a whole lot better than being able to put your finger through. So the next step is to go ahead and snip these staples as flush as I can. I'm going to do, if there's any metal sticking up, I'm going to try and grind them down. And then I'm going to get my plastic welder and weld all the little holes and cracks, so when I go ahead and paint, it won't look so bad. All right, Crusaders, so the metal welding I'm doing actually comes with a kit that I purchased from Amazon, and it is the Allturn 70-watt plastic welder. Now, in the kit, it comes with the plastic welder itself. It also comes with a pair of cutting dikes and different metal staples. And what I'll do is, I don't really need to metal staple anything else, but since you haven't seen the actual process, let me go ahead and do one staple for you real quick. So this is just regular plug into your home power. The staple I'm going to be using is sort of a squiggly looking one. You put the staple into the little holes of the welder. You find the spot that you want to weld, pull the trigger, it heats it up, go to a certain depth. You don't want to push through the plastic because it's not going to do anything if you go through it. You want to be able to join the metal staple with the plastic. Give it a few moments to let the plastic cool, and then you pull the staple out. It's that simple. An excellent product. This one, like I said, I bought from Amazon, and I'll put the link to it in the description. I'm sure you can get these at any other big box store, like I don't know, Lowe's, probably Harbor Freight, but I ordered this one from Amazon. Once you get done with the staples, you take out your dikes, and then you just start snipping the little metal pieces. Now, what you're going to find is they only go so deep, so you're going to have to grind down the metal pieces. So, and make sure you're wearing safety glasses or some type of eye protection, because if you can tell, these metal pieces do go for a ride. So, and if you notice, they go in the direction where this coming, they actually shoot that way. So don't stick your face in this area. That's not going to be safe. So that's what it looks like after you get done snipping them. And I'm not going to show the video on all those, but the next step will be, I'm probably going to get my little grinder out and just grind down the metal tabs. And then I'm going to get my plastic welder, which is sort of funny because you actually have pieces of plastic that you heat up, sort of like a soldering iron, and you melt the plastic into the other plastic. So between the metal staples and melting more plastic into the crack, it should give it not the original rigid strength, but it should give it enough rigidity where we're not going to have to worry about it cracking again until we can actually pull this bumper off, find another bumper, and put a new bumper on. So I think it's a win-win. So stand by and let's see what happens next. Okay, so this bracket right here was bent down. I pretty much got it now where, see how that'll go back in? And the bumper itself is ripped from there. But with this, I can bring this hole, there's a rivet right here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to drill that rivet out. There's a rivet on this corner over here behind this plastic where I'm going to drill that out. And then once I get those in, then even though it's starting to split right here, it has the metal that's going to keep it together. I can fill that in with more plastic welding and we'll go from there. And I think what I might do is once those are all in spots, I'm going to drill a hole here through the metal and then put another rivet there and probably another rivet over here on the side over here, just to keep that side skirt in place. So it'll look better. It's not going to be perfect. Like I said, I am a civil servant. I am not a body shop man. So that's where we're at. And if you notice, I got all the things snipped and they're all snipped down here also. So the next step is I'm going to drill these rivets out real quick, and then I am going to get the grinder and grind the metal tabs off, and then I'll start trying to make it look a little more pretty. Stay tuned. All right, those are done. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rivet these in place so they're not all over the place. And then we'll see what we can do from there. All right, so the factory rivets were smaller than the rivets that I have. So these are just 3/16 by 1/2 aluminum rivets that I got from Harbor Freight. So this is what they look like. So I had to get the 7/16 drill bit so I can make the holes a little bit bigger. And that's where we're at. All right, those are done. Let me get my rivet gun and put the rivets in. All right, so let's get this bumper lined up with this hole. Bring that over, find the hole, and just start riveting it in. Should be close. All right, there it is. That one's in. That's nice. That keeps it nice and tight. Let's get the other one. See if I can do this without cutting my hand on any of these metal brackets. When all's out, beat it into submission. There we go. All right, so it's in the holes. Sorry for all the grunting and groaning. Thankfully, I live in Florida, so it's only like 40 degrees. Instead of the rest of the United States where it's below zero. All right. So, what you think about that? That looks a whole lot better, doesn't it? So I'm gonna get with the welder, it sort of bunched it up right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put a rivet here and a rivet right there, just for a little extra strength, especially the way the shape this bumper's in. It's pretty gnarly in it. All right, so this is where it might get a little loud. So I'm going to put my hearing protection on when I'm using my grinder. so I believe that's got it. I mean, I could run my fingers over. Oh, there's maybe a couple little pieces I need to still get, but it's a whole lot better. So let me pop those real quick. And all right, let me sand those, and then I'll get some plastic welding. All right, for the next step, I'm going to break out my plastic welder, and it's sort of like a soldering gun. And what you do is when you plug it in, it heats up, and then you can buy all these different plastic rods, very similar to welding rods. And as you heat it, then you just melt it, and you work the melted plastic into where you need to bring it in. Once I do this, then I'll come back with my sander and then spray it out. I do have factory match paint because we did work on this vehicle before, so I do still have the factory paint. So it's not going to look perfect, like I said before, but it's going to look so much better, and it's going to be rigid enough where she can drive it down the interstate for many years to come, so long as she doesn't back into the barn again, which she just sold her farm, so she's not going to hit the barn, but as long as she doesn't back into anything else, this should stay intact. Okay. All right, so this is the Chicago Electric welder. It says 80-watt plastic welding kit. Now the kit did come with, I think it came with some more of these plastic welding rods and also some metal mesh, if you were going to do the job like that, where you can actually melt the metal mesh into the plastic for more stability. But I used the welding kit, and I don't need to use the mesh for this. So let's see, I'm going to put it on here to see when it gets hot enough. And then, because the green light is on, it just has to heat up. As you notice, this is a triangular tip. There is a screw, so you can buy different tips for it. And it does get quite hot. All right, y'all, so I'm at the point. I've taped this area off. I'm gonna get the color match paint and try and get it painted up. It's all riveted, sanded, sprayed. Throw some primer on it, throw some paint. All right, so got me some primer on the spots. And now I am going to let it dry for just a moment, and we'll throw some color match paint on there. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect, but it sure is a whole lot better than what it was. So stay tuned. All right, y'all, so this is pretty much where I'm stopping with repairs. Got it stapled back. As you saw, I welded it, sanded it, primed it, painted. So it definitely looks a whole lot better than it did. So now I have to, she cut the backup camera wire, so I have to find that and then reinstall the lights. Excuse me. All right, let's see what's gonna happen next. All right, Crusaders, so here's the finished product. Got the taillight in. Got it, like I said, it's not perfect, but it surely looks a whole lot better than it did. Right? It's all intact. It's welded. It's all together. Yeah, that could look a little bit better, but trust me, it is better than a bumper flapping around. She had bought a brand new taillight. I went to install it. Here's the brand new taillight. Right? Looks great, doesn't it? Has the wrong connector. So I went ahead and took the taillight off of my truck, my spare truck, and put it on so she could have a working taillight. All right, y'all. Put in the comments what you think. I don't think it's too bad for a non-professional body man, especially when you look at, that's my profession. So I think I did okay for a shade tree mechanic. All right, Crusaders. This was a quick project. I think I spent a total of 2.5 hours on it. I started around 10:30ish in the morning, and currently it's 2:40. But I did take some time for lunch, and I had to make a few phone calls. But let me know what you think. I don't think it doesn't look too bad. I think it looks pretty good for a non-trained professional. Crusaders, hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, I'll put the descriptions of the aluminum, I'm sorry, not the aluminum, but the plastic welder, and also the Chicago electric plastic welder, and in the description. So please like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notifications. And as always, God bless, and I hope to see you on your own crusade.